Thanks for joining us here on Arc Salt Lake. I'm Brian Schneed. It is Labor Day. Thanks for being with us on this Monday, September 2nd. Tonight, taking a look at the steps Salt Lake City Police are taking to crack down on some illegal activity happening in the Ballpark neighborhood and a possible crime spree in Weber County involving stolen vehicles there. The Salt Lake Bees season finale at Smith's Ballpark coming up in just a few weeks. And recently, police conducted a safety and drug operation around the neighborhood in Jefferson Park near the ballpark after community members expressed some concern about drug dealing during events at the stadium. Krista McPeak spoke with police about what they've uncovered and how they plan to address these concerns moving forward.
Things are really different and positive.
Amy J. Hawkins lives close to the ballpark. She says she feels safer than she did here in 2020.
We're at pre-pandemic levels in this neighborhood, which feels really great.
Police say they're focusing on deterring crimes from all parks, most recently focusing on criminal activities in the nearby Jefferson Park.
What kind of trends will you be seeing once the season wraps up, or do you expect to see any trends?
They've actually seen an uptick in people who are taking advantage of the influx of people who are coming into the ballpark neighborhood to enjoy events that are happening. The future of the ballpark still is unknown at this point. We know that the city is committed to making sure that the ballpark is thriving and remains a thriving neighborhood.
For Amy, she says environmental changes such as cleaning up properties in the area has helped decrease crime. Do you think still more needs to be done?
It's hard to complain when our levels are at the pre-pandemic level. I would just say keep this positive motivation going.
So going in depth on this a little further tonight, the focus from Salt Lake City Police in this area, they say has a direct correlation to events taking place at Smith's Ballpark.
What we've seen here at Jefferson Park specifically is we've seen an increase in criminal activity occurring, specifically when there are events being held at the nearby ballpark. So recently our Liberty Patrol Division's Homeless Resource Center squad conducted an operation to identify and disrupt illegal activity that was happening here in the Jefferson Park area, specifically within the ballpark neighborhood. So fortunately, these investigations are always very fruitful for us. It doesn't matter if we make one arrest or if we make 10 arrests. We know that we are having a direct and positive impact on this community. We know that the ballpark is a very thriving neighborhood in Salt Lake City, and we want to do everything we can to continue to make sure that we're doing our part to help make sure that people feel safe when they walk out their front door. So in this particular operation, we did arrest one person. He was actually found to be with open containers here at the park. Obviously, that is illegal in itself. During their investigation, they learned that the suspect was a registered sex offender. So it was concerning for us that there was a person who knows that he's not allowed to be in a park as a registered sex offender, and our officers found him within 10 feet of this park.
And you mentioned this corresponds with games or events at the ballpark. What kind of trends will you be seeing once the season wraps up, or do you expect to see any trends?
Yeah, so actually I want to talk about what we are seeing here. So our Liberty Patrol Division's Resource Center squad, they've actually seen an uptick in people who are taking advantage of the influx of people who are coming into the ballpark neighborhood to enjoy events that are happening in this neighborhood. And so what we've seen are these drug dealers or other people who are willing to engage in illegal behavior, take advantage of all the foot traffic and the vehicle traffic. So our officers conducted this operation to make sure that they had a positive impact disrupting that illegal behavior that was happening. So we know that the season is ending for the Bees, and the future of the ballpark still is unknown at this point. We know that the city is committed to making sure that the ballpark is thriving and remains a thriving neighborhood. So what happens when fall starts and winter comes? We know that crime is seasonal, so we do expect to see a decrease in criminal activity happening, but that's not going to slow us down. We want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to make sure that this park is safe and welcoming for people year-round.
So a lot of questions about the future of this area. Brian Malahy's done a few pieces on this, and we've shared this a few times in the last few weeks right here on Arc Salt Lake. But here's part of his conversation with the chair of the Ballpark Community Council.
Something to keep the site activated so it just doesn't feel like an empty fortress, you know? We know what it's like to not have the ballpark operational because we as neighbors lived here in 2020 when there were no games. Pretty sad. So we're hoping for something that brings people to the neighborhood in a positive, regular way. Something like pickleball.
Have you pitched that?
I have revealed my idea to quite a few people in the city and community.
And what do they say?
You know, no one said 100% yes, but no one said absolutely no either. So I'm going to pitch it to you.
But are you disappointed that these timelines have shifted?
Well, we've spoken to some consultants who are in charge of this next phase of community engagement and design planning, and they just said, you know, that was just an overpromise at the time.
It was a what promise?
We were, a consultant put it to me as it was probably just an overpromise at the time.
Did NHL, Jazz, and MLB overtake the ballpark neighborhood in terms of priority?
I certainly see that they took up a lot of folks' bandwidth, but I'm not privy to what was planned when. We know that an RFP went out for design at the very beginning of this year for the design framework. And now we've spoken to some of those consultants as of Monday. So that's maybe a little slower than we hoped, but I honestly don't know what goes into contract negotiations with, you know, international design firms. It does seem like some things happen faster than others.
Well, stay with 2 News for the latest on the efforts to transform the ballpark neighborhood once the bees leave for their new hive. In Daybreak, to read all of our past stories, head to our website, KUTV.com. We'll be talking more about this one. But still ahead here on Arc Salt Lake tonight, a woman thanking social media. A good thing coming from social. That for helping find her daughter's stolen car. Tonight, we're learning it wasn't the only vehicle stolen. The crime spree people in this neighborhood say they're now dealing with. Coming up. Welcome back. A possible crime spree in Weber County results in 2 cars being stolen in the same night. One stolen in Roy, then another just a few minutes away and a few minutes later stolen in West Haven. David Ochoa has more information after talking to the victims in both cities.
2 cars stolen in the same night, just minutes away from each other. And stuff from the first theft were found at the scene of the second theft.
Driving through our neighborhood without their lights on.
Last Tuesday, this woman got a surprise when her daughter asked her an unusual question.
Mom, where's my car?
They checked their Ring doorbell footage and found a group of people seemingly preparing to steal the car around 2:30 a.m.
You're looking at one of their getaway cars pulling up to in front of our house, shutting off their lights. And then there's one of their cars across the street as well.
They stole the car, but the night of stolen cars wasn't over yet. They drove through the neighborhood, and then about 10 minutes down the road, a neighborhood in West Haven was the next target.
We noticed everybody in the neighborhood had been hit. Their cars kind of rummaged through.
This video from a neighbor shows a masked person opening a car and looking inside. During the spree, Avery Mize's niece's car was stolen, a car she had just bought.
Unfortunately, with paying for that and daycare on her own and working full time, she only had liability insurance, and so she's kind of facing a full loss.
Mize had posted online about the theft, and the first woman commented saying they also had gotten hit. The 2 women were able to connect after Mize found some stuff with the first woman's last name on it on the ground in the West Haven neighborhood.
Just the brazenness. Just crazy to think that people don't think twice before they do something so that impacts somebody's life.
Just kind of stinks to have that kind of violated a little bit.
They were able to find the first woman's daughter's car thanks to a stranger who posted a picture of it on Facebook. But they're still looking for Mize's niece's car. I talked to the Weber County Sheriff's Office, and although the person I spoke to couldn't confirm the details of this particular case, they said it isn't uncommon for groups of kids to go around doing things like this. Reporting in Weber County, David Ochoa, KUTV 2 News.
Latest information on a semi-truck fire on I-80. Obviously this video you see sped up, not real time. Take a look at it though. Causing quite the headache for folks heading back towards the Salt Lake area from Summit County today because this prompted a road closure here in Parley's. You probably dealt with some of these major delays. Traffic back flowing, everything back open on the interstate tonight after it took crews hours to extinguish the flames and clear the debris. Christian Sita has more from the scene.
Westbound I-80 near Parley's Canyon is now open after being closed for several hours after a semi-truck caught on fire. The incident happened around 11:15 a.m. Kelly Berta with the Unified Fire Authority says it looks like the semi-truck driver was coming down I-80 westbound down Parley's Canyon, and he was riding his brakes a little bit more than he should have. It's unknown if the brakes were faulty or worn out. Bird goes on to say the brakes appear to have caught on fire. It got into the tires and up to the cargo space, which was full of frozen meals. The driver was able to get off the freeway onto the shoulder, which did cause some fire to catch onto the hillside, but it was minimal.
The whole back end of the trailer's burnt up, so it's pretty much a loss. And then the contents, if they're not directly damaged by the fire or the water or smoke, or they will be damaged by the smoke, so probably the entire contents of the truck.
Now, we are told that traffic may last 2 to 3 hours. We were also told that no injuries were reported and no other cars were involved. Christian Sita, KUTV 2 News.
I don't even really know where to begin. It's like hot and kind of uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but kind of not over that threshold where we're like, stay inside. You know what I mean? It's that time of year
Yeah.
where I'd like to see it starting to cool off a little bit, but it's been pretty warm the last couple days.
Yeah, it sure has.
Yeah.
Summer's hanging on for sure, even though we're technically in meteorological fall right
Right.
now. September is here.
Fire
but
weather, dry temps.
That's
I
right.
mean, this is kind of a
Yeah.
that
We're still
anything
in
goes
90s.
time of year.
September is a big change, though, from the beginning of the month to the end of the month in terms of our average highs. Let me show you this right now, showing that difference. 87 degrees. That's where we are on a typical start to the month of September. Well, to the end, 74 we go. So we're looking at a big change here in the weeks ahead. So if you like the hot weather, take advantage of it right now because 70s right around the corner here. For today, though, we're in the 90s, so it's unseasonably hot. We also got to deal with this. We've got wildfire smoke heading back into the area after seeing plenty of smoke just a few days ago. We've got more of it moving in from the wildfires currently ongoing in Idaho that'll be brought in behind a cold front. It'll be noticeably worse as we get into Wednesday, lingering on into Thursday. So temperatures right now, as I mentioned, we're above normal. It's a hot day. 92 in Ogden. We're at 89 in Salt Lake City, 87 in Provo. Temperatures across much of the area plenty warm. We're at 78 though in Heber, Manti a little bit on the cool side, including Panguitch at 72. 90 in Hanksville. We're at 98 in St. George. But we've got some rain-cooled showers falling further down towards the south into the Bluffdale, Draper area. This is pushing up towards the north-northeast. Not seeing any lightning with this. It looks like that thunderstorm has weakened significantly. We've got some light rain into the Nephi area, some scattered rain trying to work its way into Fillmore, back and north and west of the Beaver area. And then we're dry right now in St. George, Kanab, and further down towards the south and east. So kind of very isolated to widely scattered showers and storms we're seeing right now. We'll continue to see the threat for some showers through the overnight. Better chance for rain, though, arrives tomorrow. We're under a marginal 1 out of 5 risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms with the help of a cold front moving into the area. We'll start off dry tomorrow, but those rain chances increase as we get closer towards the lunchtime hour. From about 11 a.m. through 5 p.m. we start to see the scattered showers, thunderstorms, and the potential for some strong to severe storms producing gusty winds and large hail. That'll be a possibility with some of these thunderstorms rolling in. As a cold front pushes through, we'll have some lingering showers behind it. Then we get that dry air, and it'll be a lot nicer as we get into Wednesday, as we're looking at some cool and dry conditions. So we're into the 60s and 50s as we head into the overnight. Highs tomorrow near 90 degrees, so still pretty hot. St. George, you're very hot here each and every day. We're into the triple digits. Friday, we get up to 103, some slightly cooler temperatures as we get into early next week. And then the Wasatch Front here, we're dealing with temperatures over the course of the next few days cooling down into the 80s. We've got the smoky skies from Wednesday into Thursday, then heating back up into the weekend.
Yeah, it's not as fun when you're breathing in other people's smoke. That's just how it goes,
it is not.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
smoke there.
we get the California, we'll get the Oregons, we'll get the Washington even, and of course Idaho right now. Utah's been very clear as of late in terms of actual measurable wildfire concern.
Yeah.
So that's been, I guess, the blessing and the curse here. The smoke still lingers.
Right. We have to watch out for with these thunderstorms, these dry thunderstorms. They produce gusty winds. That's going to increase those wildfire concerns here today through the overnight and into tomorrow. So we got to be careful with that.
All right. Still ahead here on Arc Salt Lake, celebrating in Margaritaville, how fans are celebrating the life of one Jimmy Buffett a year after the singer's death. Thousands of people gathered in Key West this weekend to pay tribute to singer-songwriter Jimmy Buffett. You've likely heard of him.
Absolutely. Buffett died 1 year ago after a battle with skin cancer. Buffett discovered Key West in the early 1970s, and the island's influence is widely credited with inspiring many of his most enduring songs, including his signature hit, Margaritaville. Sunday's march featured strolling musicians, people carrying large photos of Buffett, and participants sporting the flower-lilies and offbeat headgear favored by his parrot head fans.
I didn't know he discovered Key West. Is that true?
1970. I'm
Is
sure a
that
lot of
really
people were
true?
having some margaritas.
I had no
up there.
idea. Oh, absolutely. Double pours out there for Jimmy. All right. Moving forward to whatever's happening in this land. We always got to show you that.
Yeah, a mysterious sound heard inside the Boeing Starliner capsule has stopped and will not impact its planned return to Earth.
Well, okay, let's get him back here. Today, NASA said the pulsing sound was actually feedback from an audio configuration between the International Space Station, the Starliner capsule. The agency confirmed that the spacecraft will undock from the ISS as early as Friday to begin its return to Earth. It's scheduled to land in New Mexico's White Sands Space Harbor after midnight on Saturday. Starliner's return to Earth will be without its two-person crew. Where are they at? Staying up there forever? Would you go to space?
No, not after all
Who
this.
are we sending here to space? If we had
Trent.
Trent's
Parker.
going to, yeah. Which company is making the aircraft or the spacecraft for Trent to go? It's a Boeing, right?
Yeah, no, Spirit Airlines.
Spirit Airlines is sending Trent to space. All right, that's on the record. Seattle-based company aiming to blast a space plane into orbit. The goal is to create a cost-effective alternative to rockets.
Yeah, the space plane rides on top of a rocket-powered sled and picks up speed along a 2-mile rail track before releasing the space plane. It would carry a crew of up to 5 astronauts and be reusable up to 100 times. It could be used to put satellites into orbit, conduct surveillance, and gather intelligence for the military. It's based on a rocket plane NASA designed in the 1999s called the X-33.
Let's talk beef.
Yeah, this is upsetting my stomach, and
I know.
but
Need to get out of here and
let's
take
get
care
to
of
it
business
because
or something.
people enjoy watching this. In the hot dog showdown, unfinished beef, 16-time Nathan's hot dog champion Joey Chestnut took on 6-time Nathan hot dog champion Takeru Kobayashi in a one-on-one showdown.
Yeah, looking to meet. There we go. Kobayashi doing with what we knew happened there on the island. Joey Chestnut broke his own world record. He ate 83 dogs in 10 minutes. Yuck. And he won the unfinished beef battle. Kobayashi ate 66. Chestnut broke the record that he had since 2021 when he ate 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Chestnut wins the hot dog battle, wins $100 grand. Sean, would you
Not
do
enough.
that
No.
for that kind of money?
No way. I'd be sick.
$1 million.
Weeks. Yes.
You do it for $1
Yeah, I would
million.
do it for $1 million.
Challenge tomorrow night
Yeah,
on
there we
ARC.
go.
86 dogs. See you then.